Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope that everybody's doing really well. I have a little video for you today showing you this new product. So this is a smart drip irrigation kit from LetPot, and they gifted me this product to try it out and make a review video and let you know my thoughts and how it works. And honestly, the timing is quite funny with this. So I'm just back from a trip to Cyprus. I went out there for a week doing charity work with a conservation charity I work for called the Freshwater Life Project, and we did surveys, ecology surveys all over the island, and it was an amazing week, a really nice time. And obviously, as most of you know, that whenever you leave your plants for a certain amount of time, there's elements of either preparation or worry that goes into their care. And generally, this is either to do with watering or pests. Now, if you're just going away for a week like I was, most of my plants will be okay for a week. Anything longer than that, anything like out to 10 days, 2 weeks, we're talking like things are going to be sad and possibly die. And if some of you are lucky, you might have somebody plant sitting or somebody who can come in and water your real emergency plants. But some of us don't have that. And then what do? We've seen a lot of different options out there between sticking bottles upside down in the soil and all these little methods that you can use to kind of irrigate your plants or water your plants while you're away. Now, while I was in Cyprus, LetPot reached out to me and asked, would I be interested in trying out this product? And I was thinking, would have been great if I could try this just before I left. But we're back now, and I thought I would just unbox it for you. You can watch me set it up and I'll let you know how it goes. So basically, it's this smart irrigation kit. It draws up water through a pump from a little reservoir or a jug or something, and it drips it into your plants that you set it up on. And also it has an app, which is very cool, that you can use remotely to control how much it waters your plants. So that idea to me is super cool, especially like I could be out in the field or in a different country and I could be controlling how much some of my plants get watered. So I'm very excited about that idea. So the product itself is made from recyclable food grade resin that's free from BPA. So food grade resin is basically like recycled plastic, so they use that to make the product, which is obviously a nice addition. So the device itself can cover up to 10 different pots, which is a fair amount, I would say. It comes with a water pipe that's up to 10 meters, so obviously you cut this based off how far apart your plants are or which way you want to set it up, which I will show you later. It comes with a filter that you put into the water reservoir, adjustable drippers, drip irrigation controllers, which are the parts that are in the pot, and you can control basically how fast the drips go inside the pot. Something to tape on the pump, a water pipe bracket, a power adapter and a T connector to just connect the pipework. And then once it's set up, you can download the LetPot app, which I will show you. You connect your pump device to it and then you can control it remotely. The app itself also has this cool little Wikipedia section on many different common houseplants, and it provides like care tips and all of these details as well if you're interested. One thing I think is very useful about the app is that not only can you control it from the app, but it also gives you an error or a warning when the water reservoir is running low. So that is very useful to know, I think. You can actually use some diluted fertilizer as well in the drip irrigation system. It does say that you can, they do say that you can do that, but they do recommend that after that you do flush the pump and the pipework through with clean water just to preserve the life of the product. I'm sure there will be some build up there with that over time, so just be careful with that if that's what you're going to do. If you are interested, I will link their website and their Amazon store in the description box, and they are having a discount for Black Friday, so I'll put that up front for you as well if you're interested. Now, I've chosen my most diva houseplants, I would say. The ones that really I would worry about, the ones that really do dry out quite often, and that even when I'm at home every day, I still miss the waterings on because it happens too often. So I'm gonna set it up on these and we'll see how it goes. All right, my main concern so far is about the setup is actually sticking it onto the shelves that I have. So as I showed the options, they have these two sticky things which you can stick onto your wall. I'm a little bit worried to use these. They're very sticky, but I wonder will they come off the wall safely? So I'm going to leave them aside first. Look at that later. This thing is like a little bracket. So there's the 4 holes here. It can either go sideways or up. Okay. So we're straight. Really don't want this falling off the wall and falling into water. This one just seems to be consistently turning. Don't really know what that's about. Primarily for me, the 2 plants that are the worst for drying out at the moment are my Pilea glauca, who's become so big. I have a 2-year update on this if you are interested. And my variegated hibiscus up here above. So I want it somewhere in this area. I was thinking of putting it actually behind the Pilea, back here. I don't know if you can hear all of that. They're all dry leaves that are falling off. So I'm going to actually move the Pilea out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing in the back, attaching it to the shelf. Oh, like it's already dried, I just watered it. And all of the leaves just fall off and they make such a huge mess on the floor. And I'm just constantly hoovering up, so it's quite annoying. I just want to see first, how easily does this attach up? Because of how secure it is. Doesn't feel that secure, to be honest. No, that's not gonna work. So now I don't know what to do. Actually, there is pretty good. I feel like it won't drop that much. So maybe I will just leave it here, but I will move it to the side because the Pilea is going to be quite in the way there. No, it can't go there because I'm going to have pipes coming off it, like. Maybe I can put it there and just connect the pipes behind this because I don't really want the little pipes going off, you know what I mean? So I want to put the reservoir in there behind, that's a little bit hidden. And then, yeah, so I'm pretty okay with that. Let's see how far the plug goes. Okay, ooh. Flashing, let me just check what flashing means. Okay, it's meant to flash, so we're good. Flashing, good. Woo! Green LED flashing, device is working normally. Green LED always on means the device is connecting to Bluetooth. Flashing fast, firmware is being upgraded. If it's red, the device is malfunctioning, and if it's flashing red, the network is abnormal. All in here, guys, all in here. This is what I'm going to use for my reservoir, which I will probably get something bigger and nicer over time, but I'm just going to fill this up a little bit. I do know that the filter, it has to cover the filter. This is the filter. So we're going to connect a piece of this into said filter. Kind of need to squish it over, I think. This is kind of hard, not gonna lie. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to drop this. Oh, I forgot. Water is going to be displaced, but that's fine. So this is in here, my little reservoir. I'm going to hide this now and then measure how long of a distance of the pipe I'm going to need. I did show you on the unboxing that there is an inlet and an outlet section on the device. So I'm sticking this in the in section. I put it in here. So there is actually a very useful little diagram here that is helping me. So I have my first piece in here, and then I have my second piece coming down here to a T connector that goes to the first plant and then up to the next one. I'm probably over explaining this, but like, so I'm going to connect up my outlet up here, and then I'm going to flip that up somehow and cut it. Okay, so I have my pipe here coming up through the shelf, and I'm going to push it in over this little T connector. So then I'm going to have I need to cut another little piece that's going to come off here into my plant. Strength. Okay, so, okay, interesting. I'm going to zoom you in even more now to just, I actually think that's too long. Yeah, I'm going to cut it another little bit. But I'm going to zoom you in now just to show you what I'm doing at the actual plant. Just want to show you before I zoom in. So this is the piece that goes into the soil, that holds it into the soil. There's a little clip there at the top. And then this is the dripper. Where my thumb is on this hand is where the pipe goes in, and then the bottom piece heading south is where it drips in. But this twisty thing here is what controls how fast it drips, basically. I'm going to clip this onto my soil piece, so that kind of holds that like that. And then, whoops, we want to connect this on. And then that's our dripper. So that's kind of what it looks like. I kind of want it to drip in the middle. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the next piece, which is just for the palea. So I'm going to guess around this much. Okay, so attach on the dripper. This definitely gets faster as you go along when you know what the hell you're doing. And yeah, let's get this thing dripping. So we're going to open the app now and connect it. Okay, so there's my email, 0 LetPot. So no device yet. I'm going to add searching devices. It's found the device. I'm going to click that. Initializing Bluetooth. Please keep close. I'm very close. Connecting, initializing. Added successfully. Done. Okay, so connecting. The pump switch is off. Still says connecting, so I'm not going to do anything yet. So if I turn on the pump switch, I can hear it. Okay, water coming out way too fast, man. Okay, I'm turning it off because that was way too much water. There is a problem where the water seems to be coming out way too fast. So I'm going to adjust the dripper thing until it goes low. So I closed this and it popped off. I fully closed it and the pressure obviously popped it off. Okay, it has been about 3 days since I last filmed all of that setup and everything. So I'm gonna be honest and tell you what was happening. So I had the app connected and everything on. However, whenever I turned the pump on, I was getting some issues. So I originally had it hooked up to 2 plants because, to be honest, I don't really want a lot of my other plants watered this way. I want to have a little bit more control, and I put it on the plants that basically they're the ones that I miss, right? I explained this earlier. They're the ones that I miss, the ones that like it would be so handy for me to just press a button on my phone and be like, okay, they're watered. So they're the plants that I chose, and I don't have a lot of plants like that. They're not the type of plants I'd like to have in my collection. So I was running into some issues, and I contacted the company and I told them what was going on. We kind of had a bit of a back and forth of trying to figure out what was the issue and why this was happening, which I think is always fair. You know, if you're having an issue with the product, to reach out first and see if it's something that you don't know, something I might have done wrong. So we figured out what was going on, and basically what was happening was, whenever I turned on the pump, one of two things was happening. Either there was way too much water being let into each plant, like flooding the plant, and there was quite a few water spills. And so then when I adjusted the water dripper to have it just as a drip, the pressure of the pump became too much and it actually pushed off the dropper, and then again water was spilling everywhere. So it was a little bit messy. I wasn't very happy about it. So basically you cannot control the pressure of the pump itself, but you can control how much water at each individual plant using the water dripper. So in order to remedy that, what we did was added another connector back into the water reservoir so that any excess water was actually feeding back into the system, so that the water pressure basically had somewhere else to go. So this worked, and it got working, so I was really happy about that, and I'm grateful for them for working with me trying to figure it out. I also added one extra plant, so I have 3 plants it's connected to now, another plant that's quite a diva, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So I have 3 plants connected and it's going back into the reservoir, and this is working. So I'm going to show you it working now and show you how it's doing. It's still connected up here. I do really like the way that it looks. So for someone like me, it's not necessarily something that I will use all the time. However, the thing I like about it is that it is adaptable. So I have it up, as I said, to the 3 plants that need water the most, and I'm going to keep it on that. And so maybe I will get to water these plants, or maybe I'm having a really busy week and I'm looking at them and I know that they're thirsty and I just can't find the 5 minutes it takes to take them into the bathtub and water them and everything. So I think in these cases this will be really, really useful. I can just turn it on my phone, make sure there's water in the reservoir, which would take 2 minutes to set up, and they'll get watered, and I kind of like that. But I am excited, you know, for the next time I have to leave my house and travel, and to have this on and see how it goes. But I think with this, what's best to do is to troubleshoot it all yourself at home, work out all the kinks, get it set up and working while you're here, test it a couple of times. The hope is that it will just stay working then when you're out of the house. So that is that. I will always strive to give an honest opinion on any products that I review. I think that that's really important and really helpful. I myself always seek out reviews when I'm looking at stuff, so I really do feel it's important to be transparent with this. There were some issues, they did get fixed. I also have to say that, like, I do appreciate the company you know, trying to work it out with me and not just giving up, and, you know, really trying to figure out the problem and to make a better product. And I think that that's fair. So guys, that is it for this video. If you think you would like to purchase this product, if you think it would suit you, if you like automated plant care, if you like techie things that can be incorporated with the houseplant hobby, then I will leave a link to their website in the description box. They're also having a Black Friday sale, so you can make use of that if you so wish. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.